All right. Now, if you want to get active with your local, state, and even our federal government from your cell phone, a new app has just been introduced in California called the Do-It-Yourself Democracy app. The question isn't what can you do with this app, it's what can't you do. Want to email your state rep? No problem. Want to report police misconduct? No problem. Need to challenge a law, track your local budget, or protest a statewide tax? It's all simple with DIY democracy. You know, government change starts with you, and this makes it easy to get started. With this new app, you can even run for local office with just a few clicks. Currently, the free app is only available in California, but don't worry, you can start taking the government into your own hands nationwide with the release coming later this year. Okay, now on last week's show, I proposed a list of suggestions that would help restore the Republic. Among them was banning the federal government from planting RFID chips in humans. Virginia became the latest state to step up to that fight. Last week, the Virginia House of Delegates passed a bill barring companies from forcing employees to be implanted with microchips. Virginia State Delegate Mark Cole proposed the law primarily because of privacy concerns in the digital age. However, the legislature did have religious overtones as Cole felt the chips might be a mark of the beast. Cole said, "My understanding, and I'm not a theologian, but there's a prophecy in the Bible that says you'll have to receive a mark or you can neither buy nor sell things in the end times. Some people think that these computer chips might be that mark." Cole is referencing this passage from the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16 and 17, that says, "He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." Now, other translations also say that you could receive the mark in your right hand or in your forehead. The co-author of Spy Chips, Catherine Albrecht, responded to the news by saying, "This is good news. This is happening in more states than just Virginia. The Georgia Senate just passed a bill prohibiting forced, coerced, or required implantation, and our version of the bill is going before the Judiciary Committee of the Tennessee House on February 17th. The FDA approved RFID chips for humans in 2004. Since then, California, Georgia, and Missouri have all passed similar measures banning their use. It is important to note that Cincinnati-based Six Sigma Security required employees to be implanted with security chips. And we went and researched, and we could find no indication that the company is still in business. Well, I guess that's what happens when you make a deal with the devil. All right, now, our next story is about the internet licensing. Can you believe this? The internet is a wonderful place. You can do research, you can shop, you can follow the news, express your thoughts, and communicate with virtually anyone without having to reveal your true identity. It is the most important invention of our lives. And the most beautiful element of it, for Americans, it is mostly uncensored. Anyone, anywhere in the U.S. can create a blog, express their thoughts to the world. If anything, the internet is the most current and direct way for Americans to voice their freedom of speech. Well, freedom lovers, you won't like this. At last week's Davos Economic Forum, Microsoft's Chief Research and Technology Officer, Craig Mundy, proposed a suggestion that people should be required to get licenses in order to surf the web. This asinine notion has actually been supported in articles in Time Magazine, the New York Times, of course, the publications that are directly threatened by the rise of internet blogging. Well, there are sincere concerns that currently affect the internet. Okay, we've got hacking, identity theft, espionage, to name a few, but licensing and presumably taxing, because that's where it always begins. First you license, and you tax. Everyday Americans, if they go ahead and do this, everyday Americans will not solve any of those problems. It will only censor Americans and limit free speech. The internet is the last hope for free speech. Without it, we would not see the rise of mass movements like the Tea Party movement, the Ron Paul revolution, or exposures of such frauds as the global warming scam. But then again, I guess we do owe both the internet and global warming to Al Gore. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to pay a tribute to our late friend Aaron Russo and continue our exclusive coverage from the Biometrics Conference. But first, a quick public service announcement.
Ice scraper, $2. Snow shovel, $23. Flexible flyer sled, $69. Congress not being able to hold sessions or make backroom deals to pass intrusive legislation that would break the back of the American economy. Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted by senators from Louisiana to Nebraska.
Restore the Republic, the social network for the modern revolutionary, activating the silent masses into action. At restoretherepublic.net, we're seizing power from the globalist world controllers and handing it back to the people. Restoretherepublic.net, where patriots rally on the objective. The Liberty Bell tolls once again for a movement on the rise. Make restoretherepublic.net your place to unify and activate the revolution.
All right, welcome back to the Reality Report, your home for independent news unspoiled from corporate influence. February 14th was not just Valentine's Day, but it was the birthday of Hollywood filmmaker Aaron Russo. The America Freedom to Fascism director was heralded by Texas Representative Ron Paul, who credited Russo for bringing tens of thousands of people to his 2008 presidential bid. After a battle with cancer, Russo passed away on August 24, 2007. Here's a clip from his final interview with Alex Jones.
The Federal Reserve is poison to our country. Of course it is. It's poison. Whoever makes the money makes the rules. Rothschild said that, and they make the money. Why are we allowing these private bankers to make the money for our country? It makes no sense. Why are we paying interest to these banks to make money for us when the government can do it itself without paying interest and without all that debt? There's no answer to that question, and it's the question no politician will raise. Everybody talks about America's debt, how much debt we're in. We're in debt because we have to borrow money. But we don't have to borrow money.
They designed it so we go into debt.
Exactly. We can create the money and back it by gold so they can't create too much of it, so you don't have the inflation. And do what the founding fathers gave us. But instead, the bankers make the money, they control the government, they buy the politicians, they tell us who gets into office. You have computer voting, that's a fraud. They do whatever they want to do to us. They do whatever they want to do to us, and it has to stop. My friendship with Nick Rockefeller was one where we expressed ideas to each other and thoughts and philosophies, and he wanted me to become part of what they were doing, and for me to become a member of the CFR, and offered various business opportunities for me to get involved in, and for me to not take up the fight or the battle that I've been taking up in the past. You know, to drop that idea, because what was the point of my fighting for the people? I was a guy who was very successful in the movie business, and I saw the truth of what was happening. I tried to express it to the people, and rather than having me express it to the people, they wanted me to join their side because I was a mover and a shaker, and rather than me opposing them, to join them. It was real simple, and he tried to recruit me into that situation, and I didn't go for it.
Aaron Russo was a true American patriot and a close friend of mine, and he will forever be missed. But his influence will always be felt in this movement.